Mr. Minnick, helping introductory computer science students who are learning the Python programming language, helping them learn how to use variables in a computer program. Exercise 1, we are instructed by a boss at a future job, perhaps, like Google, to set the constant named price per appetizer to the numeric value 6.99. So when somebody says something's numeric, that means it's not text, which is also known as strings in computer science. So do not put double quotes around 6.99. Do not put double quotes around it, because then that would be considered text. No, in this case, you just simply type or print 6.99. And that's all you need there as an answer to exercise 1 on this worksheet. This line of code would be useful in a computer program where you have what Mr. Minnick and many other teachers and professors and people that write code for a living, what they call constants. Things that are not meant to change, say, on a restaurant menu, at least for like a year. If the local company, G&A, wants to change their menu, usually they wait for a while and then they change their prices. Sometimes you see people like a server maybe, or the owner goes through all the menus and takes a magic marker and crosses prices out, or puts a little piece of paper insert, but that's just to save the cost on like going to the local printer and reprinting a lot of nice menus that are already nice, except for that one price increase. Anyway, in a computer program like online restaurant, catering and ordering, this would be a line of code that would exist. Exercise 2. Oh, in this one, the fill in the blank, you have to fill in the name of the constant. So do I have a volunteer in this room that, since Trevion isn't here, would answer this and tell me what to type there? Yes, Drew?
Tax rate.
So tax rate. Is that your what I should type there, Drew?
No, you need that space. Or like whatever.
It's called an underscore. So is this better?
No, you have the capital.
So Python is case sensitive as a computer language. It does care that this is in all caps. And there needs to be an underscore there separating the words. You are not allowed to use spaces in the names of variables or constants in any computer language, especially Python. Now the font doesn't matter, but I will change the font if possible in this fancy software to Courier. It looks like I can't change the font, so we'll have to live with that difference of font. But tax rate equals 1.06 is the answer. Now building up in complexity, exercise 3. Always read and understand the specs. The first step of the programming process is to read what it is you're supposed to do and ask your boss if you don't understand it. Set the variable appetizers to the numeric value 0. So this is a variable. Variables typically don't use all uppercase letters. Equal to the value 0. So Jason, how does this look as a possible answer here for exercise 3? Yay or nay there on that one, Jason? Correct, nay. Jaden, what's wrong with this answer here, especially if you compare it to exercises 1 and 2? Exercise 1, exercise 2. Look at this possible answer here for exercise 3. Jaden, any comment? No, in this case, because I gave you in the exercise the spelling with a capital A and everything else lowercase, you should definitely keep it and spelled in that way. Don't change it to a constant. If I would have said set the constant num appetizers, and that would have been confusing and misleading. Anyway, no, it's not the spelling of this that's the problem. Does anybody in this room brave enough to go on my YouTube video here, tell me what's wrong with number 3? Yes, BZ. They have to be switched. In computer science, unlike algebra class, you must write this kind of statement, algebraic statement. It's called an assignment statement. The value 0 gets assigned and stored into the variable num appetizers, and it always works from right to left in that way. In other words, the name of the variable or constant has to be on the left, and the numeric value or the string value or the value period has to be on the right. It's got to be this way. An algebra teacher might not care if you write 0 equals x, but computer science does. It's got to be x equals 0, y equals 0, or in this case, num appetizers equals 0, in that order, from left to right. Number 4, now this is what you'd likely see, say, on a midterm exam in this course, where you have a total blank, open-ended question, and you have to write the code from scratch. My hint is that if I use this special font called, in this case, Courier font, a monospace font, kind of font that you always see code in if you're typing computer programs in tools like Replit, that means that that's a variable name. So at least for partial credit, the way I grade, at least write that down in the blank area, even if you don't know what else to do. But the fact that there's a 0 there, you should probably put a 0 somewhere. Well, you only have one thing left to do on this particular type of problem. If you in code are trying to set a variable equal to a number, you got to put an equal symbol in there. That's just the way it works. And like we said a few minutes ago in this video, you can't do it the other way around. You can't put this, in this case, you can't put this text box over here. No, you can't do that. You got to do it with the total cost on the left. So there's your answer to number 4. Do not put double quotes around the 0. Then that would be a string. That'd be like text. That'd be like your zip code, perhaps 19610, compared to the actual mathematical numeric number, 19,610. To the idiot computer, those are two different things, as different as ice cubes and liquid water, like totally different. Even though chemically they're the same H2O chemical compound, or whatever that would be called in chemistry. Anyway, that's the wrong answer. I should leave that in there for people watching the video that didn't pay attention. I'm going to leave that in there. Somebody please remind me to take the double quotes away later. Now, I'm going to take it away now. That's just totally confusing. Okay, number 5. I'm running low on video time. Can anybody say the answer out loud loudly? Other than BZ and DK? SK. Oops. Is that your answer there, SK? No, it's not. So when you print on worksheets and midterm exam questions, make sure you don't put a gap there. It's my interpretation as to whether you thought there was a legal space there or not. It is natural sometimes for people just to put spaces between words because it's probably in your brain to write it that way. But just be very careful when you're doing this on pencil to shove it all together and keep the C, W, and T capitalized. The T, that first T, should be lowercase based on the coding standards that we use in this class for variable names. Number 6, we did use the input function in Python a lot this semester to get input from what we call the user. The word int changes text to numbers. It's just needed there, that int command. But the rest of this should be fairly easy. I'm running low on time. Can anybody accurately get this right and tell me what to put in here on the left side? On the left side, B. Wow, nicely. If you worked a help desk somewhere, the way you said that confidently, loudly, and very descriptively with stressing the capital A, if I ever have trouble with my internet connection, I'm calling you instead of Comcast. Now, over here on the right side of this equal symbol, what fills in that blank? Adrian? Okay, I'll finish it up. There. Is that your final answer, Owen?
Yes, sir.
No, it's not. We need double quotes around it. Maddie, look closely. Is this your final answer there? There, see that space, everybody? She saw it. there's a space there, which is nice because then it doesn't like butt up against the colon. I like that space in between the colon and the double quote. Now, not like 100 spaces like that, but like, one nice little space or two would be nice. There's a good answer there to number 6. Number 7, oh, this is math. Oh, this is a word problem. A lot of people don't like word problems, but you know what? Learn to like them, because if you can take a word problem, put it into code, now you have a computer program that can solve the problem of millions of people or thousands of people, and they don't have to do word problems by hand. So I think it's like something times something because the word multiply is there. So at least I get partial credit by putting that asterisk there. Okay, so what is it that I'm multiplying? Non-appetizers, which is like the quantity that I'm buying, times the price per appetizer. And how's this look as an answer here, Katie? Price per appetizer star num appetizers. Does that mathematically figure out how much you owe at Applebee's if you go in and buy like 10 appetizers at $8.88 each? Katie? Is multiplication commutative? Is 3 times 4 the same as 4 times 3?
Yes.
It is, and therefore this would be accurate, this would work, but in the problem, I don't know, I just kind of had num appetizers typed first, then with the price that is stored in the constant. It's kind of worded the other way around. I'm not that strict in this introductory course, so I would have taken that previous answer as an answer that and given full credit, but this is another way to do it. That's probably arguably a little bit more accurate from left to right, as soon as I take away that extra asterisk. So I'm leaving that as, in this video, the final answer. I'll move it over there closer to the... So this is a line of code that does accurately compute something on the right-hand side of the equal symbol. And then that value, that simplified answer, is set or stored or assigned into, from see right to left, into the weighting variable called total cost. This is really, really good code. Number 8. Ooh, another word problem. Something equals something times something.
Why don't we put parentheses around?
Oh, it's optional? Good. See me for a grad ticket later. If you want to put parentheses around, that's fine, just to make it clear, but the Python doesn't actually require those parentheses. Okay. So I usually don't add them unless they're required on a worksheet like this. Right. But I would not take off points if you added them in this course. This one, total cost with tax, is the left-hand side variable. It equals something times something. I'm not going to do that one in this video. Oh, yeah, it's something times something, and there's a strong hint as to what your, does it say? So it doesn't say multiply, but you should know that when you apply a tax rate, you can assume that tax rate is equal to, in the state of Pennsylvania right now, you can assume that previously it's equal to 1.06. Just assume that those are equal to each other. Kind of like up here on the worksheet. You fill in the question marks for full credit. Number 9 is pretty easy, but I'll stress that when you use the print command, do not add double quotes like you would with hello world here. When we first learned print hello world, that you needed double quotes. But what would this do incorrectly? It would not display a numeric value. Instead, Josh, what would this display on the screen? Josh? The letters TOTALCOSTWITHTAX would show up, not the number that's stored in the variable total cost with tax. So that would be wrong and be like a point or two off. And in a real computer program, it would just be totally wrong and probably nobody would download your app. There, that's the best answer. If you want to put spaces in there, that's fine and make it more readable. And last of all, number 10, there's only one obvious answer at the school why I'm missing. There you go. Oh, we have differences of opinion. Okay, Sol. I mean,
according to the instructions, you wanted me to put your favorite teacher's last name, and so I put your favorite teacher's last name.
yeah, there's always somebody that does that. If you would have done this on a midterm, we'd have to go to a jury. It'd take a couple weeks. I probably couldn't hand your grade in time. So you know what? I'm just going to take points off now. Always ask on these computer science tests, always ask for clarification if appropriate, because a lot of computer science teachers are very literal and computers are very literal. So that actually is not a, I won't take that the wrong way, your comment there. Any other questions, Kramer? Minnick is 1A. Thank you for giving me a shout out there, but I will put Stanchek in because you know what, he's pretty cool. And now these last exercises didn't have time for the video, but it looks like that's the wrong way around. This should be cost equals 19.99. There should be double quotes at number 12. Number 13, it's the wrong way around the equal symbol. And number 14, there should not be a space there. Print neatly, have that finished for tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone on the internet that's watching this video.